Joining us now is the author of Blood Money, Why the Powerful Turn a Blind Eye While China Kills Americans. Peter Schweizer, he runs the Government Accountability Institute, of which I am also involved and engaged. You're the best at doing this research, Peter, and you have looked at this. The flow of fentanyl into our country has Chinese fingerprints all over it. Walk us through how the Chinese are involved and engaged with the drug cartels, moving their product into the United States via Mexico.
Yeah, the Chinese organized crime syndicates, which are linked to the CCP, are really the senior partners with the Mexican drug cartels in the flow of fentanyl. They taught the Sinaloa cartel how to create fentanyl. But think about it this way. The precursor chemicals that make fentanyl come into Mexico from China. They land at ports in Mexico that are controlled by Chinese companies. Those precursors are then sent to northern Mexico, where, according to our DEA, 2,000 Chinese chemists work with the Mexican drug cartels to turn that into the deadly cocktail we know as fentanyl. The drug cartels then use pill presses, which they've imported from China, which were sold to them at cost by the Chinese to create these pills. And then when they smuggle them across the border, they use Chinese communication devices and apps to communicate, because they know the Chinese will not share that information with American law enforcement. And the final component of this, which is the money laundering, we used to think of, Pablo Escobar as laundering his money in Latin American banks. The Mexican drug cartels now launder their money through Chinese state-owned banks, because they know that the Chinese will do this. So this is a Chinese operation done with the cooperation of the Mexican drug cartels.
So, Peter, you have a 30-day pause that President Trump and his administration have reached with Mexico. Mexico promising to move 10,000 soldiers to its border with the U.S. The same, some promises from the Governor Trudeau of Canada. What happens in a month? Because this sounds like something that won't be stopped.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dagan. This is going to be trench warfare. And here's what we have to recognize. I would encourage everybody to pick up either the books or the reporting by Annabel Hernandez, who is really the top investigative reporter in Mexico, who has done extensive exposés over the years of the ties, the financial ties between the Morena party, that is the party of the current president, Claudia Sheinbaum, and the immediate predecessor, AMLO. And she shows extensively that this political party is essentially bought and owned by the drug cartels. They've transferred them money. Members of Claudia Sheinbaum's inner circle are people with drug cartel connections. The research goes on and on and on. So Claudia Sheinbaum has to pick between a drug war with Donald Trump and offending people that are putting money in the pockets of her political movement. I think this is just the first skirmish. This is going to be an ongoing battle. I don't think that these 10,000 National Guardsmen are going to make much of a difference at all in the flow of fentanyl, and Trump is going to have to keep the pressure on in order to get it done. But it can be done using this technique if the Mexican government actually does what it should be doing.
Hey, but look, President Trump, Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, talk to the DEA. What kills me about this is the DEA knows where it is, and they've got thousands of Chinese nationals, according to your reporting, that are there in Mexico. There's one particular place they use these encrypted apps, as you talk about, from China to communicate, to thwart our drug enforcement agencies and others, Homeland Security. That's the target. That's where they ought to be going to take them down.
No, you're right, Jason. And here's the dirty secret. When Secretary Hegseth talks about, nothing is off the table, meaning there could actually be military action in Mexico, we know where these fentanyl factories are. We know where these pill factories are. The problem is they're in Mexican territory, and that begs the question, why is the Mexican government not taking care of this? Why are they not shutting it down? And the reason is because of this financial collaboration between the Morena party, Claudia Sheinbaum's party, and these Mexican drug cartels. That's why we can't take it off the table, because they are not taking the action that they should be doing in their own country. We know where these locations are.
A narco state, the puppet of a communist nation. Peter Schweizer, thank you so much. Great to see you.
Thank you.